So, what I'm going to talk about, guys, is if you've been following PLB's social media accounts, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you know, since as early as October 31st of 2015, which was Halloween for you guys in the year 2015, you might have noticed the arrival of my cross-dressing alter ego named Madeline Lew Hayashi. And in this podcast, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background story about her character, Kayfabe, and without the Kayfabe involved. What I mean by Kayfabe is there's a storyline involved that sells the music to the masses and stuff like that. When you listen to Patrick Lew Band records on the internet, on your phone, on your computer, or whatever device you're using, maybe even an old compact disc that's out of print from the record store you might have picked up at Amoeba in San Francisco a while back or something. But I'm going to give you a rundown of the roots and origins of Sister Madeline, aka Madeline Lew Hayashi, in Patrick Lew Band. So I'll take you back to a time about 11 years ago. I was doing Patrick Lew Band. I was at the time 23 years old, going to Cal State East Bay to forego a BA study in a major called philosophy with a minor in music composition at university at my alma mater. So what happened was I was basically at the process of rebuilding Patrick Lew Band at this point. So because 2 years prior to that, Eddie Blackburn from the band departed, and he was never, and a lot of things went on, like David and I just reconnected. We're just basically talking it out like brothers and say, hey, let's start this thing all over again, start all over again as a band. And we decided to rebuild PLB at the time for what it was worth, But around that same time frame, as far as I can recall, there was also a lot of bad things going on too in my personal life. PLB was basically the pariah, the scapegoat heel of the independent music scene and on the internet, especially on social media and SoundClick.com. God, I don't even want to look back on those bad memories, man. But I have to talk about it, though, in this podcast. Well, I was also struggling to make ends meet, trying to finish up school and rack up that college degree, and all that sort of crap, like haters at school, on social media, on Facebook, stupid motherfucking people who keep unfriending me left and right on Facebook, which I didn't appreciate at the time, trying to get a girlfriend, all that shit, it was really bullshit and mania at the time. But what I was going to bring up, why I brought up the year 2009, actually, was because of this topic, actually, considering the state of my music career at the time in the independent scene circuit, and the current events that were going on in the world at the time in society in the year 2009. Let's refresh it back 11 years, guys. 2009, PLB was not in a very good spot, actually. It might have been later in the year where we started picking up and we started achieving our first notoriety in the internet music scene and community and local Bay Area music scene in metal and punk music, with PLB's Let It Rise and Against LP dropping towards the end of the year. But in the beginning of 2009, I was just depressed, confused, and didn't know what I was doing. And a lot of things were basically falling on me, on my shoulder, because I was experiencing a huge backlash on social media because of this song I wrote in Patrick Lew Band just 2 years prior, before Eddie Blackburn left the band, God rest his soul, called Asian Girls, which was basically not meant to be taken as like a offensive, racially profiling type of song. It was just a metaphorical song meaning, like like the band The Deftones, they like to write songs with metaphorical song titles and meanings in the lyrics, with very catchy and eyebrow-raising subject matter in the music and behind the songwriting, So what happened was that song Asian Girls caused me such a great deal of backlash in 2007, starting around late 2007, especially on SoundClick.com, which led up to like what I'm talking about right now is 2009, before this whole PLB mania stuff started kicking in overdrive, really. Like, the reason why I brought up Madeline Lew's origins that time was because, like, as I might have said this before on Instagram posts or on my social media in the past, I've actually had thoughts of bringing a cross-dressing male to female alter ego into Patrick Lew Band as early as 2009, believe it or not. Why? But I was thinking about bringing this as early as 2009, oddly enough, but it was 2009. LGBT was not quite the norm yet. It might have been in some states, especially in California, but there was still a lot of closed minds and absent-minded views on LGBT community people, especially transgenders and all that kind of stuff. And it wouldn't really fly by if I brought Madeline Lew to PLB right then and there in the year 2009, because I'd be crucified like a Jesus on a cross, even worse if I did that by that time. Plus, I was already catching a lot of heat in the internet music scene and the community for that song Asian Girls, which I said many times before in this podcast, which dropped on the internet just 2 years prior to this time frame I'm reminiscing about to you on podcast, really, watching this on my YouTube channel. But the views between LGBT and Asian American men were not very solid and warm surprisingly back in the year 2009, especially in the western part of the world, because these days we have bands like Korean boy bands and idols like BTS, Big Bang, and all those guys. K-pop is in vogue, and I really do thank them for making the world, or the western world at least, more open-minded and opening their money and wallets to us Asian brothers, so to speak, But back in 2009, it was the totally different story, totally different ball game, let's put it that way. So I couldn't bring Madeline Lew back into as early as 2009 into Patrick Lew Band. What also delayed this arrival, besides the social construct of what was going on in the world at the time, hence what I just said, Asian American males not being fashionable enough or cool enough, or LGBT still frowned upon among most of the society in the Western world, or just globally in general. So it's like, there was a lack of technology to bring Madeline Lew into reality back in the year 2009. Like, I'm going to give you a mild spoiler alert, breaking a little Kayfabe right here. Madeline Lew Hayashi was actually created from me cross-dressing. I wore the wig, I wore the woman's clothing, the fake boobs, everything, But also a lot of it is also digitally enhanced with a lot of filters, CGI, Photoshop, face morphing apps, and all this kind of shit, that we have now, which you can find in any app store on your iPhone or Samsung Note 10 or whatever you want to call it. But back in 2009, those things were not very accessible back then. They're not really easy to find. Even if I had the material on me, I wouldn't look presentable enough. Because a lot of Madeline Lew's persona on social media was basically innovated through modern technology that we have in the digital world we live in today. Like the face apps and all that stuff, the face changing apps, the filters, the gender swap filters on Snapchat, all this other good shit, and like, plus, even if they did exist in 2009, it would have been very hard to find. It would have been very expensive and out of reach for the general public, really, So that was that. So in reality, basically, like I just said earlier in the podcast, Madeline Lew Hayashi did not join Patrick Lew Band officially as a mascot, virtual band member, or representation or ambassador of the band until Halloween 2015. Let me tell you a story about 2015 for once, nigga. And I'm without holding back. It was also not a very good year for me, basically, other than the fact that I started making some waves in the community. Like for example, I was the ambassador for Antennas Direct. I got an interview for the K-pop music TV station briefly. In July that year in Chinatown, San Francisco, and all this other good stuff that was happening. But I was experiencing another second degree backlash on social media when I brought back PLB. All it boils down back to my breakup with Pitsaloo, my then girlfriend at the time, and then all of a sudden my modem just went down. People started coming at me like left and right and saying a lot of nasty things, which I don't really forgive them for, really, And don't really still hold grievances towards as of today, But it was just a really bad time for me, despite launching a comeback with Patrick Lou Band in New Year's Eve or New Year's Day exactly, 2015. It was it was not an easy way to come back after like a 2-year break from music, because you've been doing it for quite a while. You had to take some time off, clear your mind, refresh, and work on yourself. So I spent those 2 years from the end of 2012 to the beginning of 2015 working on myself for once, and dealing with all the shit I was dealing with my ex-girlfriend at the time, or ex-fiance at the time, for my common law marriage. And I was dealing with a lot of other personal stuff, and I came back, but I really had to work. I was back to square one, really. I had to work my way up pretty much, before I could even get to where I'm at today, let's put it that way. So, PLB introduced Madeline Lew in Halloween 2015, pretty much. It was a weird way how she just debuted in the band, apparently, because apparently, and if you were on my Facebook or Instagram or any of the PLB social media profiles around like end of October, November 2015, I was kind of showcasing these cross-dressing photos and stuff like that through Photoshop editing and stuff like that, which was very rudimentary at the time. And I wrote on a blog, I don't remember exactly what I wrote, but I wrote this like caption that said, "This is Madeline Lew. She's here to break the walls down and make this thing great again." I don't remember, honestly, so don't ask me, basically. So that's when Madeline Lew came up to the scene, joined PLB. Around that same time, however, I was auditioning for a band, a supergroup, which you all remember and know as now. It's called Diverse. You can find us on social media on Apple Music and Spotify, by the way. I was in October of 2015. My longtime friend Jenny Rodriguez, from the music scene and Bay Area EDM scene, pitches an idea to me to audition for or start a new band, actually. And I worked my ass off on the guitar to even on our first day of rehearsal. So I passed the audition, and we eventually became Diverse, which was the highlight of 2015 after such a dismal comeback, really. I'd say if it wasn't for Madeline Lew Hayashi joining PLB, which gradually took over time for her persona to develop on social media, and joining and playing music in Diverse and working on some songs together in my home studio or warehouse headquarters, lunatic headquarters in San Francisco, I would not be where I'm at today, really. Let's put it that way. So, but going back, guys, like, I'm going to tell you about the storyline behind Madeline Lew Hayashi's character in PLB. In Kayfabe, which is like a wrestling glossary term for storyline, let's just put it this way. In Kayfabe, Madeline Lew is my long-lost sister separated from birth. She lived off the grid in British Hong Kong with my mother's family for many, many years. Then suddenly in 2015 rolls around. I'm almost 30. I'm going through a mid-quarter life crisis, all this bullshit, and I call mom. My mom, God rest her soul, Winnie Hayashi. Her anniversary was just 3 days ago, April 8th. It's April 11th now in San Francisco as I'm talking to you on podcast. But so the storyline goes is like in Kayfabe, let's put it that way, real talk. Like I call my mom, Winnie, ask her, dude, I don't know what the hell's going on. The band's not working out. My life's a mess. I don't know what to do. So my mom, God bless her soul, in Kayfabe, hands me a booklet of contacts from family members, and I noticed, hey, there's this girl named Madeline. Who is she, by the way? So mom gives me the rundown. We talk turkey, and then she advised me, just call her on video chat on Skype on your 2014 Crackbook Air. So I did that, and I'm telling Sister Madeline in the storyline, like in a movie, hey, sister, I really need your help. My band's suffering. We're on the brink of becoming obsolete, not to pull Matt Hardy, and all this other crap and stuff like that. And she was like, okay, I'll call mom first thing in the morning, then I'll get a plane ticket on the way back to SFO to see you guys, and the rest was history. Her role in Patrick Lou Band took a little long while to develop, actually. As far as I'm concerned, her Instagram and social media profiles were initiated to promote Patrick Lew Band and the music, and as a alter ego from or fictional younger sister from another dimension, which was it all started like around later part of 2016. That's when her personality started to show more on social media. Gradually, a lot of pictures of Madeline Lew from 2015 to 2017 were very rudimentary because the editing was not on point yet, and there was not a lot of technology was out yet to make it look really. I could pass as this Sister Madeline type of character, in Patrick Lew Band, in the alternate universe, in the alternate dimension, But gradually over time, Sister Madeline's presence on social media kept becoming more apparent. That's when I kind of realized that she's a part of the band too. Sister Madeline is just as important to Patrick Lew Band as Patrick Lew Hayashi is to PLB. So it's like me and her are the key holders to this band, really, the shareholders to this band, the CEO or the owners of this rock and roll band, mom and pop family grown brand of garage rock and roll from San Francisco, hailing from Japan and Taiwan, basically. So, and that was pretty interesting, I would say, to say the least. But at the time, it took a while for everything to develop and people to see it over time. But eventually, Madeline Lew came to the scene. She did what she intended to do in Kayfabe, but also in reality, alongside with my other band, Diverse, which I played for 4 years as a lead guitar player and as co-songwriter, they really did bring me back to the promised land. They really did bring back a resurgence and renewed popularity for my music career or indie music career that wasn't seen before the year 2015, and I'm really grateful for that. Actually, I'm very grateful for that, and that's all that really matters, and that's how I became the immortal PLB, so to speak. Not to sound conceited, but I don't give a fuck. But yeah, that's what really happened, guys. That's what really happened. But as technology got better, the tools became more accessible. The Sister Madeline became a lot more presentable and passable as a persona on social media, and I'll give it to that, you guys, without a benefit of a doubt. So, in the meantime, check out my music. Yeah, check out my music, guys. On social media, links will be handed over to the end of this video. Hope you guys have been staying indoors healthy during this current crisis we're living in, and this COVID-19 pandemic. I just want to say, PLB loves y'all. Sister Madeline loves y'all. Patrick Lew Hayashi has your back and loves y'all too. Just stay safe, guys. This COVID-19 pandemic will hopefully subside eventually, somewhere down the line. We'll be back to our normal everyday lives. Stay safe indoors. Follow protocols. Don't forget to jump right on the road to my rock and roll freak show. And the Lunatic will be coming to town very soon with the band By Nine Neglect. Whenever that happens. In the meantime, just expect more good things to come from the immortal Patrick Lew Hayashi. And that's what I mean when I say that? I mean it for reals. Yeah, holla at your boy. I am PLB signing out. Love y'all.